It's time now to listen to Gregor Waller, the man who founded Digital Age Consulting in 2011 and who provides consulting services in digital strategy and business models to international media businesses. Gregor.
Hi. Thanks a lot for IAB having me here back in this beautiful country. The topic I've got is about monetizing mobile audience because it's one of the hottest topics which is going on right at the moment. But before I get into the talk, I hate the word mobile. The reason why is, from a creative perspective and from a user perspective, mobile is an expression coming from technology. But it doesn't reflect the sense how users are actually thinking. And if you think mobile is mobile, then the idea is of having one piece of content, one piece of creative, and it's fitting everywhere, and it doesn't. And if you're looking at the way of how mobile platforms, and mobile platform is newspaper, is smartphone, is tablet, how it's being used, you can see that there's massive differences. A web, for example, the orange line, that's an office medium. Mobile is a round-the-day medium, and tablet has especially its strength here in the evening with incredible long usage pattern and usage sessions. And that's what you have to understand if you want to engage your audiences. So the use situation and the session time is one of the things which makes smartphones completely different than web technology and tablet technology. And if you're thinking about smartphones and if you're thinking about tablets, smartphones is a personal device that everybody connects, that's connecting everybody with the internet all the time. The tablet is a quite costly device, and it's only for the upper tier LSMs and for those kind of target groups, if you're using modern target group technologies, who are very digitized. So it's a massive difference when you're talking about a tablet or a smartphone in regards of part of your mobile strategy. Where's the money? The mobile ad market is going to be the only growing ad market in the future. The reason why is even the advertising market is working like market mechanisms like supply and demand. And you see, for example, in print, there is not an equilibrium in the time spent, how much time spent people are spending on the platform, and of ad spend. And this is something what the market is bringing down. That's why you see the exodus of print advertising money going into other sources. Here at TV, you can see in print the decline of the ad spend. In TV, you see the two tubes, the connected tubes, they are kind of alike. But the point is that advertisers realize more and more that people are not spending time in front of TV in a very conscious way. You know the phenomenon of a second screen, and you realize that people that don't pay attention. That's why advertising money is coming down in TV. Here on internet, on the classic web, you see there's a kind of an equilibrium, but TV money and print money is all being changed by advertisers and advertiser agencies getting into mobile. So that's where the money is in. And the next one which is coming, these are the local ads. You see here from 2000 on, the digitization of local, and it's just picking up. And you have quite some local advertisement on the web, but what you can see right now in those trends, most of the digitized local ads, they are going on mobile. So if you're a publisher, and if you are dealing with local ads, it's smart if you have and own a mobile platform that people are spending a lot of time from, because that's where you spend, where advertisers want to be. How can publishers, creators, and agencies monetize mobile? And one of the key advices is not about what to do. That's the easy thing, and 20 minutes is far too short. But one advice is not to repeat the same mistake than what publishers, creatives, and agencies have done in the change from classic print to the web. And it's about competing with the same kind of product, the same kind of staff, the same kind of budgets, with new invading companies who invest money, technology, and brain. So if you want to succeed, if you want to be a successful media owner or advertiser or agency, you have to invest in people, in money, and in technology. It's a tech business. Here, and most of the time my clients tell me, well, our market is different. If you're looking at disruption, and we are talking about disruption from print to web, and we're talking about disruption from web to mobile. And the learning is always, the profit pool is smaller, and if you're looking how much money US publishers have lost the last 10 years, it was 87%, and US is quite an advanced digital country, and a retarded country like Germany, where I'm coming from, it's 86%. It just took more time, but the effect and the logic of the industry is the same. That's my point. And in mobile, it will be the same. Those who don't reap, sow and invest in people, technologies, and product, they simply are not going to be successful. So that's the key advice of how to be successful. One of the things, how to monetize mobile, is something which is rarely talked about because it's still foreign, but there is a paid content market outside. And the paid content market is relevant for 3 reasons. It's it is the most attractive market of digital users. It's the upper LSMs and those people who are really digital native, who use their smartphones and their devices all the time. They are willing to pay because they have the money, because they want to have access to premium content, products all the time. And they are heavily consuming, so they are the ones who can be reached most easily with digital advertisings. What you have to change to reach those premium audiences who are willing to pay themselves, plus who are consuming a lot of ad impressions, is they require specific content. And when I'm talking content, I'm talking about the content which you're doing as an editor and the content from the creative side. And secondly, they require a platform-specific content strategy, great product, great user experience, and cross-platform access because they are multi-device. The monetization always starts with great products. And great content starts with understanding your target groups. And mobile has changed the publishing game from the time where you had to be present from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock because web is office, to it's an all-day device. This means that most of the publishers I'm consulting, they realize the peak times, the first peak times, is always 3 minutes after people set their alarm clocks. The people set their alarm clocks at 6 o'clock, and guess what? At 6:03 the peaks come. At 6:30, and rare people, they do it at 6:15 for whatever reasons. It's 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, and that's where you have the peak. But you have to understand that's what's driving the behavior, and that's your future business. That's what I'm saying. Understand your audience before you do any kind of products. In early morning, you want to know what happened during the night. You want to have some summary. Late morning means you're getting to the office. You not want to be informed about what you have read in the morning, but there must be something fresh because you use news to relate and to socialize. So that's why the freshness is so important, and having a set agenda. On lunch times, it's a recap if you didn't have the time to watch the news, and it's about relaxation and relaxing. So you have to do different kind of product formats if you want to capture this use situation. In the afternoon, people, when they are starting to leave work, the peaks go up in news consumption or media consumption. So it's smart to tell them what are the plans for the evening, doing a wrap-up, those kind of recommendation services. In the evening now, publishers have started to get into TV, in web TV, because they're saying we have a brand relationship. So why don't we extend the brand relationship in the evening hours and before you go to sleep? Obviously, there's another demand for news. You want to have the feeling that you have everything, that you're prepared for the next day so that you can sleep well. But it's a completely different approach to target audience, especially premium target audiences, that you have to capture if you want to have their attention and their loyalty. Then monetization continues with great user experience and product. And you all know the idea of classic websites. But on a small screen like a mobile screen, the case is different. So leading publishers are experimenting with the same kind of card design that Facebook and Google are introducing. And you can swipe them, and they require a very short storytelling. And the short storytelling is something of the most difficult things you can do. It's easy to write a long story, but it's difficult to condense news in a very short format, both for editors and for advertisers. But those kind of, for example, those kind of stories, that's a headline, that's a teaser, a very condensed text, a picture, and then there's an engagement module where you can Facebook, or where you can like it, or where you can comment. It's only 5 cards, and guaranteed within 40 seconds, you have maximized the time that you've spent on the device. So that's where value is, and that's when people are repeating and not just scrolling, keeping scrolling. Monetizing ends with engaging ad products. And obviously, I'm invited by IAB, and obviously I understand your job is to create some kind of a standard format to enable advertising on a better. But it doesn't say that the user experience on the IAB standard ads, especially in mobile, are great. When I saw this Google chart, I think it's now 15 months ago, and this is saying the recognition rate of advertisement is quite related with the amount of time that people are seeing the advertisement. Suddenly it makes a lot of sense that Google has changed in the Penguin and in the Panda update their algorithm of how to stop going for reach, for mass, but for relevance. Because if they guarantee with the search results that people are more satisfied with the search results in this regard, that they like to read what they get recommended, people spend longer time on the content that is being read. Spending longer time means better recognition rates. Better recognition rates of the advertising means that the ROI for the advertisers is higher, and higher ROI for the advertisers means Google and Facebook have a better business. So the drive to a relevant quality web is being initiated just because people understand that the value for advertising goes up when people spend more time on an article seeing the same kind of advertising. And this is changing the landscape, and you will see it. That's the reason why benchmark publishers, they have started to create their own engaging ads. It's no longer the small banners, but it's engraved in a news stream, and it's big and graphic. And obviously video is included. And what guys like the big car companies had to realize that if they just take the 30-second TV spot and put it on mobile, it simply doesn't work. Because the use situation on mobile is 1 to 2 minutes. That's why Vine with the 6 and 7 second videos, it's just the right size. And it's going to take the advertising industry, as always, a long time to realize that if they want to be relevant on mobile, that they have to create different stories and film the different stories. How to drive engagement is publisher in Sweden, they have store locators, they have sliders where you have to actually interact on the mobile with the advertising, but with interaction with it, you actually remember the advertising better. So it's their job that they said, we have to create engaging ad formats so that the brand recognition is better. And these are the big ad units that they have. Unfortunately, I just can't show you a PDF because of technical reasons, but you would be able to see how engaging those are. And coupons, deals, obviously, they're very important. And if you're thinking about what I think, which is the next wave in publishing, the card storytelling, you actively have to swipe a card or drop the card and saying it's not relevant for me. But when you're then hitting a full-page ad with interactive elements, that's what's grabbing your attention and your engagement. And the last recommendation is if you want to make money on mobile, it's like if you want to make money and if you want to play the big game, you have to go into targeting. And targeting means obviously you have to subscribe to some intelligent technology which allows you to profile. And some of the key takeaways are, if you want to be successful as a mobile publisher when the mobile industry is lagging behind, you have to be innovative, which means you have to invest in technology, in people, and in creation. It doesn't work without the proper investment. And most publishers and advertisers, they're kind of reluctant to do it, and that's why new people will come up to the sea. Second, it's about educating the market that the quality web and that more engaging advertising format and more engaging stories are simply drawing more attention. Then it's having the targeting technology. On the service side, to the advertising partners, they don't understand the technology better than advertisers, but even worse. So your attitude to them should be that you have a we fix it all kind of an attitude. So it's the service relationship. And the last is don't use RTBs or ad networks, because all they are doing, they're giving you a little money for inventory, but they're driving the prices down. And premium publishers who are engaging in engaging ad formats, products, and content, they've just stopped dealing with them. Thank you so much. That's a run through. If there's any questions, I'm obviously more than happy to take any. There's one. Could you just give us your name briefly and where you're coming from?
Len, thanks, Gregor. That was amazing. You had this graph about America and Germany, all that kind of stuff in the newspapers, and you obviously know a lot about the Western publications. In your experience in China and in India, Russia, has there been different trends of newspapers, traditional newspapers, going into a mobile market? In other words, leapfrogging the PC, the web model, and going straight into a mobile with success?
I think one of the most radical ones has been the Times of India in regards of publishing companies I know of. But it's still in their attitude to protect the classic brand. It's like at the last century when people tried to protect horses, because they said basically cars are bringing people from A to B. It's the same kind of idea. You're not investing properly enough and you're not listening good enough to the new audiences. So I see very little success that classic publishing companies in the first wave are doing it right. What I'm seeing is that publishing companies in the second wave, after they got the message, because it's separate audiences and it's completely separate requirements in regards of the content and the advertising things, that they got it right. That's clear. But I rarely have seen it in no market that the publisher from the very beginning has said it's a new market and we have to invest and we can own it. Unfortunately. But the second wave is often good enough if it's done consequently enough.
Sorry, and just another quick one. Was there any success stories in your experience of radio channels or traditional terrestrial radio broadcasters that have made a good switch into a mobile or online kind of news or content publishing?
Well, what you see in a more advanced market, because again, it's about the use situation, and mobile is about not so much about storytelling, but accompanying people with fresh news that they have something to talk about. And this has been a radio business for a long time. And secondly, if you know, both the radio advertisers and the guys on the radio, they have been trained to write short stories. So what I've done when I was managing director of Axel Springer, of the regional papers, I hired radio people because they know how to do things short. And so we have seen quite some successful radio companies in Scandinavia and Germany who just realized that the skill set they have is much more appropriate for mobile than for web. But again, it's something about understanding the opportunity and radically going for it. If it's radio stations saying we have just the people and the advertising, we don't invest in the product and the storytelling, it doesn't work.
Sorry, I just wanted to expand. Sorry, it's Chris here from DSTV.
Thanks.
I just wanted to expand a bit on your comment about programmatic buying and RTB, and I think you were talking about the danger of the yield for local publishers. I just want to understand that a little bit more.
Yep. The classic idea of a RTB is that you have ad networks, that you have unexploited inventory, and the second is you have two tiers of inventory. The one is the premium inventory, and the second one is obviously the remnant inventory. So what you normally learn is that as soon as you're giving your client and your customer data to RTBs, RTBs they pay you a certain amount, and from the very beginning, for the remnant inventory, you get at least marginal bucks, and for the premium advertisements, you get something like 10 or 20% more that you would have been able to achieve. But what is happening normally, RTBs and ad networks, because of the technology they've invested in, they understand your users. And obviously, as you're not the only media owner in the globe, they're able to track and find those kind of audiences elsewhere and track them in a different way. And that the experience in the Western world is that overall the price pressure is coming down as soon as you have given it out. So it's a short-term thing, and smart publishers, what they have done is only doing the premium inventory, and when the advertisers have been amazed by the results of those kind, then shut it down, because then the value to a larger amount of advertisers has become obvious, and they have invested in salespeople and in their sales contacts. So there is much more publisher-owned RTBs which are coming up, which are avoiding the coming down of the CTRs, the CPMs, or that you're investing in direct relationships. And the funny thing is, especially if you're going into targeting, one of my Southeast Asian customers, he identified that he has something like 72,000 Rolex clients on his website and on his mobile audience. Nothing he would ever care about. But they have now started to directly talk to Rolex and saying, we have heard that there's campaign outside. Do you want to have our 72,000 customers? And guess what? They're interested. So it's re-owning that margin. There was another question in the front. Timothy, please.
Yeah, I actually got pipped to the post. My question's very similar, but I really wanted to know whether ultimately, as publishers, we're being told that advertising, the buying and selling of advertising is increasingly going to become more programmatic. And we're starting to feel like, yes, sure, we can see the downward pressure on CPMs through programmatic advertising, but ultimately, will we have a choice? And I'd just be interested on, to hear your views on that.
As long as you cannot tell your advertisers and the agencies the value which you are having, it makes complete sense, because up to now, you are selling non-targeted audience, and the RTB and the networks, they give the value because they say, we profile them, and then they give this kind of value to the advertisers. That's what they are doing. But the idea is not kicking them out and saying, well, we leave it, but the idea is it's completely connected with having the targeting, the profile technologies yourself. And there's examples, for example, in Switzerland, the three publishers that just united and said, we exploit this kind of technology, and we get into the game. In Sweden, it's 21 regional publishers who are buying this kind of technology and kicking out the ad networks, because it's just a question, who owns the margin of the profiling? So, when I'm saying get out of RTB, I'm not saying don't take advantage of the money, but I'm saying do the profiling yourself, own your data yourself, form networks so that you have the amount of audience. For example, if your client wants to sell golf clubs for very sportive women between 30 and 35. If you're a classic regional publisher, you have 7 of them. If you're a combination of them, obviously, you have the size that they are willing to speak to you. That's what I'm saying. Make sense? Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Any other question? I don't think so. I'm hanging around. Thanks so much, Joburg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't need that.
You don't need it?
Oh, thanks. That was quite literally the most sensible presentation about mobile that I've ever seen. So it was great.